Hey everybody, Peter from Shoetopia. Things are changing. Here we are at Shoetopia, and our store is void of customers. Different times right now with COVID, and I wanted to launch today at 12 o'clock time at Shootopia. So what I'm going to do, at least for the foreseeable future, is I'm going to come on live at 12 o'clock every day, and we're going to talk about some stuff here at the store. And because you can't come into the store, at least I could at least bring the store to you. And I think a lot of people have some time on their hands right now, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun together. It's a little odd for me here with nobody to talk to, but if you guys are responding, hopefully I'll be able to see it on my phone. And hey, I see Jen there, our store manager for this store, and she's at home today, of course, too, because we're closed officially. Our web store is open, and we are fulfilling. So if there's anything that you do want, hop on over to shoetopia.ca, and we will be able to fulfill you from there. Today, we're going to get into a little bit of Blundstone stuff. I mean, Blundstone continues to be the brand at Shoetopia, has been for the last year in particular, just such a strong brand for us. And I mean, everybody out there is wearing them. I was going to talk maybe about sandals and some of the new stuff today and everything, but it's kind of a dim day out there today here in Fergus. I'm at the Fergus location today. And, it's, I mean, I'd be wearing my Blundstones today. It's one of those days that you're just kind of not feeling quite the summer heat like we maybe were when the sun is shining and stuff like that. So what I want to do with these Shootopia shopping channel moments or Shootopia hour or whatever the case it is every day is I'd like to jump on board, and I'm going to send out for all of our loyalty customers, I'm going to send out an email every morning just to kind of let you know what's coming up at 12 o'clock. I mean, on Facebook, of course, you may be watching this as a rerun, and that's great too, because you can always come back and look at it later. But essentially, what I'm going to do is kind of highlight an area of our store each day, highlight a few items, and then we're going to talk a little bit of technical stuff too. Stuff that I really, a lot of times we can't get into when we're here at the store. I'm going to spend some time doing that. So if you aren't part of our email list, send me a note, peter@shootopia.ca. I will make sure that you get on those emails too. So again, I'll just kind of send out what we're going to talk about each day by email. And then this is all new to me. So we'll probably say each day at the end of each segment, talk about what we're going to talk about tomorrow too on Facebook if you're not on our email segment. So it's all new. Thanks for joining me. I see a few more people have logged in, so I'll get right to it. I mean, Blundstone is huge for us. So huge, we have a huge Blundstone. I mean, come on, this is crazy. But they don't make them this big, but it's fun, and we try to have a bit of fun at Shootopia. So that's what we're doing today, and we're going to talk a little bit about Blundstone. So for those of you, I mean, our Blundstone areas are completely full, completely ready, and we always have loads and loads. If you've been in our stores in the last year or two, we have loads of Blundstone, and we're known for that. But let's dig down a little bit into some of the Blundstone stuff. If you've never worn Blundstones, or even maybe if you do own some and you just want to learn a bit more about it, we'll talk a little bit about it here today. So I mean, your core Blundstone is basically a round toe. There's 3 different toes on a Blundstone. So you've got round toe, which is the most common that we sell here at Shootopia. And you've got a chisel toe version. And the chisel toe version is right here. So it's a little squared at the front. And then you've got a chunk toe. And the chunk toe versions we have more of in the safety here at Shootopia. But a couple of the things that I want to go through today is, I mean, Blundstone, it says on their boxes, it says on their tags, we'll go through a few of the different things, but it says Tasmania on a lot of the tags. Hi, Michelle. And Tasmania, Australia. So there's still a little bit of confusion out there. Are Blundstones made in Australia? No, they aren't. So Blundstones are actually made in Vietnam, and almost all of them are made in Vietnam, and that's, you know, just to bring that up. So and they have been for quite some time. So it's still a question we get fairly regularly here at Shoetopia. Oh, really? They're not made in Australia? No, they aren't. We do carry another line here at the store called Redback, and Redback, similar looking, they are still made in Australia, but Blundstones aren't. So that's one of the things we get questioned on a fair bit. Another thing that happens with Blundstone is, you know, if people are putting them on, how do I get them on? How do I get them off? We sell a ton of these Blundstone boot jacks. So that's, I mean, all of this stuff is going to be on the website. So, I mean, I've got my computer down here in front of me. If you go on our website at shoetopia.ca, it's all there. We actually have a, right on the first page, go to Blundstone, and you can go to Blundstone and see all this stuff there too. I mean, because you can't come in the store, at least we can bring it to you that way right now. But we'll talk a little bit about the tech. So some of the Blundstones, and I'm going to grab my crosscut one, although this Blundstone is actually a work Blundstone with the steel toe in it. You can see that basically it's an unlined finish in here. So some of the Blundstones, like the 500, for example, is an unlined finish. Some of the other ones, and this changes the price. So some people say, well, how come this one's $20 less, whatever the case is? The ones that have a finished lining in them with the finished leather typically are a little bit more. So they actually have a finished leather instead of just, you know, where you can see the nap of the leather like on this one. So that's a difference in Blundstone. There's differences in the toes. And then about a year or so ago, they came up with the ladies version, a couple of the ladies versions over the last few years. Ladies version here is a different version as well, and a different fit. You can always tell the ladies versions in particular, and I'm going to show you a few different things about those. The ladies version, you can see there's the regular version and the ladies version. Well, the ladies version, it's narrower around here. So, you know, you can see the goring here is a lot tighter than it is here, okay? So that's one of the key things. You'll also notice these little cutouts around. So that's one way to tell. It's a little bit taller too. When we look at the back of the Blundstone, it's a little bit trimmer. You can see that this one really doesn't have, it's a seam right up the center. When we look at this one, we've got an extra patch here to make it a little bit wider through there. Okay, so that's one of the things that's difference between the women's Blundstones and the regular Blundstones. One of the things we also get asked a lot about is, and I'll grab a box from Blundstone, is the sizing. What's with the sizing? Well, yeah, it's different sizing, and it's and this is something to note too. If you do go to our web store, that Australian sizes are the ones that are marked on our web store and on the boxes. So in this case, we've got a size 8 Australian. What does that mean? Well, size 8 is actually a size 9 men's US or a size 11 women's. So 3 sizes different for women and 1 size different for men. So if you typically are a women's size 7, then you would get an Aussie size 4. Men's size 10, you would get an Aussie size 9. So that's a couple things about sizing, because sizing's a little bit weird. I mean, at Shoetopia, we carry a lot of different products from a lot of different countries. We have Euro sizing, UK sizing, Aussie sizing, US sizing, all that kind of stuff. But with Aussie sizing, that's how you can tell. And if you are ordering online, just make sure that you're getting in that right size. And we have a little size chart there too that you can pull down online, and just to ensure that you're getting the right one. For those of you that don't know or maybe new to our website, we ship anywhere for free. And on a video I made the other day, I said, listen, I'll even drop it off. And I had a customer who I actually haven't got back to yet because I was setting up for this meeting say, really, you're going to drop off for free at my house? And I'm like, sure, I will. That's fine. So if you live anywhere from sort of Fergus to Mount Forest, anywhere in between, Arthur, or kind of in the general environment, I'll drop it off at your door. And if you're further than that, we'll make sure it gets to you by post. Right now, we usually send by Canpar, but we're not at the stores to for delivery and stuff like that. So we'll send by Canada Post during these times if you're a little bit further out than that, so that at least I can drop it off and you can get it from that way. So if that's something that and shipping is always free. We ship one way, and it's on you to ship back returns, but we'll also accept returns at the stores as we reopen and all that sort of stuff too. So you don't have to go through that. But basically, that's where we're at right now. And as I'm looking ahead into our receiving door, I see our Canpar driver, but we're really not open here for deliveries or for anything. So we're not going to be able to accept, but we still will be able to ship for everybody. So that's kind of where we're at with that. Let's get back to some Blundstone stuff. So one of the biggest things over the last year, and for those of you that don't know, we're taking down our workwear areas, and right now all we're doing with workwear is Blundstone. So yeah, sorry, I'm just saying no go to the Canpar driver. Bear with me just a second. We're not accepting anymore. We're closed. Yeah, I'm just doing a video. All right. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Live video. Sorry about that, folks, but I'm here by myself, no camera person, and so our tech team and all that sort of stuff is me. But that's all. It's all good. Getting back to the workwear side of things, we have exited CSA and all the workwear end of things this season, with the exception of Blundstone, because Blundstone really is and has been for the last year probably 90% of our sales. And we'll talk a little bit, and I showed you already today this little Blundstone, but if we look at a cross section of a Blundstone, it's an interesting thing. So Blundstone's one of the companies that still uses steel toe instead of some of the composite toes that you're seeing out there now. Most of the composites are a little bit lighter and stuff like that, but they still do use steel toe. And then this midsole is basically the same on most of the boots that are from Blundstone, but you'll see this is like it's called SPS, which is a material. It's really soft and cushioned. That's why you get that soft, cushioned feeling when you're standing in your Blundstone, and whether it's on the workwear or the other one. But basically, a lot of times we don't see cross cuts of shoes that often. So this is your outsole, your midsole, and then your insole goes in there. And let's talk a little bit about Blundstone insoles. So one of the things that whenever you try on a Blundstone, people will get sitting in there, and this is a Blundstone, the standard Blundstone insole that comes with a Blundstone. I kind of find, and I did a video on this already, I haven't launched it yet, but I kind of find the Blundstone insole a little sad, to be honest. It's paper thin. It's not a really supportive insole. I wear and have been wearing Blundstones for probably 10 years. And I love my Blundstones, but I don't love the insole. And we sell a lot of aftermarket insoles here at Shoetopia, and quite often for comfort reasons, and we're on our feet all day long here. And if you are too, you may want to upgrade your insole. And even Blundstone, I mean, we sell the Blundstone winter insoles and another insole that's a little beefier from Blundstone as well. But we sell, I love some New Balance insoles that I often wear, or even just putting a Birkenstock arch support in on top of the existing one here is another way of getting a little bit more either cushion or support into your Blundstone. And of course, Blundstones are pretty good to get your orthotics into as well. Off the bat, no matter which of the Blundstones, most people find it a little bit difficult to get into the Blundstone at the beginning. And it's like, wow, is it always going to be this hard, especially if you've never worn them before? It's not. And basically, they start to become like a second skin. Even when you look down, if you wear Blundstones and you look down at your foot, you'll actually see your foot sort of right there, because it really does become a molded second skin onto your foot. It's a really interesting thing. But so yeah, the elastic does loosen up a little bit. The pull tabs are great. I mean, thousands of pairs of Blundstone we have sold in the last several years, and I can't tell you how many of these have come off. Maybe a handful, maybe count them on one or two hands where we've had a pull tab actually come off. We usually have them in the store too, and we can give you them to tag back on at the local shoe repair store if they're a few years old or whatever the case is. We usually stock these in each of the stores just to have them there for you if you do, but we rarely ever have to give them out because it's just not a problem. Blundstones really have very few issues with any of their returns. They're a really good company to deal with from that perspective. And from our relationship of working with our customers, it's just not a problem. So from that end of things, Blundstone, awesome. What do people love about Blundstones? People love the fact that, often we talk about something that, with footwear, you either have something that looks great and doesn't maybe feel as good, or maybe it feels really good and doesn't really look that good. But Blundstone's one of those things where you can actually, it kind of covers so many bases. People wear it to the hockey rink. They wear it out to shop. I wear it here in the store, even with my slacks and stuff. I do wear the chisel toe version, which I find a little dressier. But basically, it just covers so many different avenues, and that's why they're having so much success, with in our area of Ontario. I think in the States, a lot of times right now, the States still hasn't picked up on the Blundstone thing as much as we have here in Canada, but we certainly, if you walk out and look around, people are wearing them, and it's just a great comfort shoe that's going to last you every day. So how do you get them? Well, you can hop on to shoetopia.ca and we will happily help you there. I'm just going to hop on right now. I'm going to go through a few of the different, I've shown you a few, but there's a couple of different colors. This continues to be our number one color, bar none. It's called rustic brown, and it's probably 7-1, basically, rustic brown, and all, whether it's the round toe, the chisel toe, even the heel version for the ladies, which is new a couple of years ago in black and brown. The newest Blundstones, and I'm going to grab them right now. This is the 1496 and the 1397 if you're looking them up on the website. They just came in 2 weeks ago. They are super light. They're made for summer. They have a different outsole on them, okay? So it's like a spring summer Blundstone. I can't believe, you hardly even feel them. So this one has a suede outer on it, which is a really nice color. Really liking that color right now. And super light. Great for this time of year. This one is, of course, our rustic brown. Has and you're getting back to the nubuck leather here, but again, it's on that lighter platform. So these are a little lighter on the pocketbook too, actually. So this one I think is $189, the suede version, and this one's $209. So a couple of new ups and additions to our Blundstone collection here at Shoetopia. Really in the last couple of weeks, just in time for us to close the doors here for COVID. But if you do want them to go for your dog walks and stuff like that, we've got them here for you. What else do we do with Blundstone? We've got rejuvenating, they call it polishing pad. So basically with that, you're just kind of touching up your toes, doing all that sort of stuff. We do carry their rejuvenating cream too, and you'll see that online as well, which is basically just a cream, and it comes in the different colors of the different Blundstones. That cream polish essentially, and rejuvenation cream. And one of the big things that we often recommend with Blundstones is mink oil. And yeah, Blundstone has their own stuff too, but here at Shoetopia, we will often say mink oil. Mink oil is one of those things that just gets into the pores of the leather, really rejuvenates that leather with the natural mink oils. It sort of does a good job too of waterproofing that product for you. gives it back the original oils that were in the leather to begin with and in the skin to begin with. So if you're noticing like your toes and different areas starting to scuff off, you can certainly do it with rejuvenation cream, but you can also go in with your mink oil and just give the whole boot a go over with mink oil too. Another good way of treating your Blundstones. I mean, they're an investment. The Blundstones, with the exception of our one suede one that we have, which is $189, everything else is over $200. So they are an investment, but they do last. I can't tell you how many people we've had come in that talk about, you know, I've had my Blundstones for 5 years, I've had my Blundstones for 10 years, whatever the case is. It's just one of those things. When you're buying a better product, it's going to last. But one of the ways to make it last is to help for you to actually look after that product. Like anything, whether you're buying a good car or anything, it does need a little service every now and then. So we do have some of those service products here for you as well. And you can grab them with your Blundstone as well if you do elect to get them on shoetopia.ca. Outside of that, I'm going to see if I have any questions or comments here. I don't see anything right now, but if there's anything that you would like to bring up, if there's anything you want to talk about on these daily 12 o'clock videos, let me know. Post it in the comments below. If you're having any issues with any of the website, and we'll try to work it out that way, because we're here to help through these times. Like always at Shoetopia, we're always here for our clients and always will be. So troubled times ahead through a lot of this stuff, but we want to be with you and be part of the community and do everything that we can do for our great customers out there. So I'm going to call it at this today. We've spent 20 minutes or so together, and tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick another area of the store and I'm going to do some more tech tips, and we'll have a chat for a few minutes again tomorrow. So thanks for joining me on the first day of Shoetopia, the Shoetopia channel, and we'll work through it along the way. Bye for now. Have a great day. Stay healthy.